said, did he fall off the bed?
Yeah, he fell off the bed. And that's what me and her really got into it about. The look, little bro fall off the bed. I'm like, man, pick him up. She like, oh, he's strong. Man, bitch, pick up the fucking baby, you dumbass bitch. Why the fuck you let him fall in the first place? I had to walk out the hotel, bro. It made me so mad. She needs to go get him some proper therapy and be a mom. That's what's really wrong, bro. And nobody wanna say that, or her friends, everybody wanna hide it. No, she need to go get him some proper therapy and be a mom. That's what's wrong. Nothing really wrong with him. It could get right, but she need to get right, or somebody need like. I feel bad for helping her. Go get the baby from her sister. I should have left him with the sister. He was better off there, dead homies.
I was drinking, even you, with the baby and stuff. Why are you lying?
Bring the flute out in real life, though. Ladies, one more time.
Get yourself together.
Where the bottle at? Oh my gosh.
Drink it.
She asked for another bottle. I'm just
You can't have no liquor.
Yes, I can. I can abort the child tomorrow. It won't hurt me.
No,
He shut the door
you
because
can't
it's
have
cold.
no fucking
Tessa.
liquor.
When they were here last time, him and Chrisean was pregnant. Y'all were doing all that smoking and drinking here in the thing.
He FaceTimed me one time, lad.
Yeah.
This is when the owner of Zeus was trying to like patch up whatever, and you know, this was like, yo, y'all keep going back and forth online, like talk. FaceTime her, she's like smoking a joint. She's full on pregnant.
While she's pregnant.
Full on pregnant. Smoking a joint.
Like,
and I said, aren't you, and she's like, shh. And I'm like, nigga, they ain't no shh. I'm like, the baby's in the stomach. Like,
yeah.
No giving. You know what I mean? Now, again, I'm hoping.
Chilly. The streets have been busy, and the tea is hotter than a hotel iron on max heat. Just when we thought the drama around Chrisean, Jr., and every man who's ever blinked in her direction couldn't get any messier, Bino pops back up with a story that made the whole internet clutch its pearls. According to him, baby Jr. took a tumble off the bed, and instead of panicking like any half-awake parent would, Chrisean allegedly shrugged and said, "He's strong. Go back to sleep." Now, that one moment alone had social media in shambles, but apparently that was just the appetizer. Because word is, Bino hasn't just been talking, he's been unloading everything, from parenting complaints to behind-the-scenes habits that have fans worried, furious, or both. And if that wasn't enough chaos, Hazel E. is sliding into the conversation too, adding her own alleged commentary about what really goes on with baby Jr. Sit tight, loves. This rabbit hole is deep, and the receipts are wild. Baby, the internet is in shambles right now because Bino just dropped a story so wild that people had to stop the video and blink twice. According to him, in the middle of the night, baby Jr. slipped right off the edge of the bed, hit the floor, boom, and while he's panicking, scrambling, trying to pick the baby up, Chrisean allegedly rolls over, barely opens an eye, and tells him he's strong. Go back to sleep. And when I tell you the way social media froze, folks said their souls left their bodies. Because that one moment had everybody arguing, crying, dragging, defending, every emotion available. And just when you think that's the whole story, baby, that's barely the surface. And that's only the beginning. Now, here's why all this is exploding right now. Ever since Chrisean and Bino went their separate ways, the breakup hasn't been quiet, it hasn't been clean, and it definitely hasn't been private. Things have been messy behind the scenes for weeks, but both of them kept most of it low-key until recently. Out of nowhere, Bino started talking, really talking, and suddenly the internet realized this wasn't just a breakup, this was a whole situation brewing. And the timing? That's what has everybody's eyebrows touching their hairline, because every time a new clip drops, it feels like another layer is getting peeled back. He's sharing moments he says he kept quiet about, frustrations he claims he pushed down, and things that allegedly have been going on for a while. Not just one bad night, not just one argument, but a pattern that's starting to sound way bigger than people expected. He hasn't dropped the full story yet, but the pieces he has shared, baby, they paint a picture that is loud, chaotic, and very, very concerning. And the fact that he's choosing to speak now, right as the breakup goes public, right as the co-parenting issues hit the timeline, right as the internet is already watching Chrisean under a microscope. That's what's making people pay attention. Because if this is what he's willing to say out loud, folks are wondering what else he's been holding on to. And allegedly, there's a lot more. So let's get into what Bino actually said, because that bedfall story was just the spark. According to him, it all happened in the middle of the night. He's half asleep. Junior is next to them on the bed, and suddenly he hears that thud. He jumps up, heart racing, scoops the baby off the floor, and he says Chrisean barely reacts. She allegedly tells him he's strong. Go back to sleep, like nothing happened. And that one moment sent the whole internet into a frenzy. Some people were furious, some were defending her, some were calling for context, and then others were dragging both of them for having the baby in the bed in the first place. It was chaos, pure timeline warfare. But then Bino kept talking, and this is where the tension started to climb. He claimed that wasn't an isolated moment. Allegedly, he's been worried about her mental state for a while. He said she brushes off conversations about therapy like she doesn't need it, like she's fine and everybody else is overreacting. He added that she'll have emotional highs and lows, switching moods fast, leaving him feeling like he's walking on eggshells in his own house. Then came the hygiene comments. He claims she barely showers unless it's for a show, a club appearance, or a flight. He said the house gets chaotic and she'll block him out when he brings it up. And to make it worse, he alleged that any time he tried to address concerns about the baby's routine, she'd call him dramatic or controlling. Each claim got messier than the last, and by the time he was done, the internet was exhausted, confused, and clutching their edges, because if this was the first wave of what he had to say, people wanted to know what the rest of the ocean looked like. And if all this is giving you deja vu, it should, because this isn't the first time the public caught a glimpse of how chaotic things could get. Remember that whole situation in the Vegas hotel? CPS and police showing up, cameras rolling, everybody yelling, everybody confused. It was a full-blown circus. What was supposed to be a private family moment turned into a viral meltdown in real time. You had officers walking in and out of the suite, people trying to piece together what was happening, and the internet playing detective like it was a true crime episode. That moment gave everyone the earliest preview of how unstable things could allegedly get behind the scenes. The energy was frantic, the communication was all over the place, and it was clear that even simple situations could escalate into chaos with them. It wasn't the main storyline back then, just a quick flash of dysfunction. But looking back now, people are realizing it might have been the very first warning sign of the mess we're seeing unfold today. And just when everybody thought this situation couldn't get any more tangled, boom, Hazel Lee steps right into the storyline like she's entering stage left with her own glass of tea. Because while all this drama is unfolding between Chrisean and Bino, Blueface is suddenly outside with Hazel E, and not quietly either. One minute they're spotted together at a nightclub, and the next they're on her IG story looking real cozy. I'm talking hand in hand, whispering in each other's ears, champagne in the background, and yes, the smooches. Full lip action, no hesitation. Social media didn't even have time to blink before the clips went viral. And at first, people thought it was just messy flirting, a rebound moment, maybe even a PR distraction. But then Hazel allegedly started chiming in about Chrisean's parenting. And baby, that's when everything went left. She allegedly made comments about the way Junior is being raised, hinted that certain behaviors were unsafe, and suggested that she herself had seen things that made her uncomfortable. Whether she meant it as shade, concern, or a little bit of both, the internet took it as pure gasoline being thrown onto an already burning fire. The romance moments, the club lighting, the smiles, the IG kisses gave everyone a quick breather, a little entertainment chaos. But the second she started talking about Chrisean's household and the baby, the mood shifted instantly. What started as a surprising hookup turned into a whole new layer of drama. And suddenly Hazel wasn't just a new love interest. She was now part of the conversation about what's allegedly been going on behind closed doors. And once Hazel's comments started spreading, the conversation took a darker turn, because social media began revisiting one of the messiest topics that's been floating around for months, the pregnancy concerns. Now, to be clear, nobody online has medical records, Nobody has proof, and nobody should be diagnosing anything. But the claims and the speculation have been loud. People started circulating old clips and live stream screenshots where they allegedly saw Chrisean drinking while pregnant or taking hits from what looked like a blunt. Again, these are claims, and they're coming from the internet, not professionals. But the conversations didn't stop there. Some viewers started pointing out physical features in the baby, things like facial expressions, spacing, or posture, and began speculating about possible developmental concerns. And once again, the internet had to be reminded. These are strangers online making observations, not doctors, not specialists, and definitely not people with the authority to diagnose anyone's child. It's all commentary, all social media chatter, nothing confirmed, nothing official. Still, the rumors moved fast. People were stitching videos, debating in comment sections, arguing on live streams, some accusing her of being careless during pregnancy, others saying the whole narrative was exaggerated, and many arguing that the internet needed to mind its business. The whole topic is extremely sensitive, but the way the internet works, once a conversation starts, it snowballs, and this one rolled straight into the middle of the drama that was already unfolding. And because these allegations line up with what Bino claims he's been concerned about privately, the speculation got louder, even though, again, none of this is proven fact. It's just social media doing what social media does, analyzing, assuming, arguing, and adding fuel to a fire that was already raging on its own. And just when it seemed like the situation couldn't get any more chaotic, the family entered the chat. And that's when everything really started unraveling. Because now it's not just exes, new girlfriends, and the internet throwing around opinions. Chrisean's own relatives have begun calling each other out, exposing the cracks inside the very support system that should have been holding things together from the start. It started with a wave of questions online about why Chrisean supposedly wasn't tested for substances at the hospital after giving birth, especially since, according to commenters, many hospitals automatically screen when concerns are present. That's when Carissa stepped forward and dropped a bombshell of her own, claiming that Chrisean didn't even deliver in a regular hospital. Just that one detail sent social media into a spiral, because suddenly everyone was wondering what that meant, what rules applied, and whether that explains why certain procedures might not have happened. But Carissa didn't stop there. She shifted her attention fully toward the family, and that's when things turned emotional. She directed her frustration straight at Chrisean's sister, Tessa, saying she felt like everyone around Chrisean was just watching her spiral, watching her drink, watching her struggle, and doing nothing because, in Carissa's words, Chrisean was in control of the money. It was the kind of statement that hits harder because it's not said with anger alone. There was disappointment, guilt, and genuine pain behind it. She said she was suffering from what she witnessed, that she felt helpless, and that if she had been in Tessa's place, she would have stepped in, no matter how uncomfortable or confrontational it had to be. And that's where this storyline gets even more complicated, because this isn't just about parenting anymore. It's about the environment surrounding that parenting. The people in the room, the family dynamics, the power struggles, the fear of upsetting someone who controls the finances, the silence that happens when everyone is too scared to speak up. These aren't just messy rumors. They're glimpses into a support system that looks fractured at every angle. So now, instead of one person being questioned, the spotlight has widened to everyone who was around during the pregnancy, during the early months, during the chaos. It's raised a bigger question. When a situation starts going left, who's responsible for stepping in? The mother? The father? The relatives? The friends? Or everyone who watched the red flags but stayed quiet? And with the family openly turning on each other, the conversation has shifted from, is Chrisean doing enough, to was anyone doing anything at all? And this is where the entire story finally crashes into itself, because now every voice that's been whispering, hinting, or straight up venting has collided in one massive wave of noise. Bino's heartbreak-fueled accusations, Hazel E's alleged behind-the-scenes commentary, the family's emotional outbursts, the internet speculation. It is all fused into one moment where everyone has something to say, and nobody seems to be on the same page. On one side, you have Bino doubling down on his claims, The bed fall, the hygiene complaints, the emotional toll he says the relationship took on him. He's painting a picture of a mother who's overwhelmed, distracted, and possibly ignoring signs that their child needs support. Whether people believe him or not, his consistency and the rawness behind it has kept the conversation alive. Then you've got Hazel E., who didn't even enter the situation as a co-parent, but allegedly found herself commenting anyway. The timing of her new relationship with Blueface only adds fuel to the fire. Because while she's posting date night clips and playful smooches, people online say she's also echoing some of the same concerns Bino had. And the fact that she's close to Blue, who knows Chrisean better than practically anyone, makes her comments hit a little harder, even if they're indirect. And then there's the family, who should be the anchors in all this. But instead, they're splintering in real time. Carissa is calling out Tessa. Tessa is staying quiet while the internet reacts for her. Everyone is pointing fingers. Everyone is emotional, and everyone seems to carry a piece of guilt, frustration, or resentment about how things played out behind closed doors. Put all of these voices together, and suddenly the story isn't about one incident or one claim. It becomes a much larger conversation about environment, stress, pressure, responsibility, and what happens when too many people stay silent until everything boils over. Each person is speaking from their own angle. An ex trying to defend his child, a new partner allegedly observing from the sidelines, a family mourning what they say they witnessed, and an audience trying to make sense of all of it. And through all of this, the central question isn't who's right, because nobody outside the situation has the full picture. Instead, the question swirling around social media is, how did so many people see problems, voice concerns, or feel fear? And yet things still escalated to this point? The emotional intensity is at its peak, the accusations are layered, the relationships are tangled, and everyone seems to be talking at the same time. It's messy, it's loud, and it's heartbreaking. But this is where the story stands now, with every voice colliding and no clear ending in sight.